My name is Christian Brodeur. I'm with the Springfield, Missouri Lug LEGO user group. This first build here is the Ilios Lighthouse. So Ilios is one of the maps in the Overwatch game. It's a Greek themed, it's in Greece, and it's a three-part map, and the lighthouse is basically one of the parts. And so you see kind of the lighthouse building featured in the front, and then there's sort of a battle zone, sort of a plaza behind it, and then kind of surrounded by multiple other buildings back there. And my sons are with me here at the show, and so I assembled the mock, and then I let them decorate it with the minifigs. So they've got the minifigs in their battle poses and stuff. And
what I love about this build is, so when I first walked up to this, I didn't even know it was from Overwatch. I just thought it was a Greek build, but it represents that so nicely. I was super impressed with it even before I realized it was from Overwatch. So you really captured a lot of that style of architecture and the colors especially really nicely. So talk about some of the buildings you were able to do there and the way you use colors in that.
Well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's actually one of the reasons I picked this, because I figured, maybe not everybody knows Overwatch, like you said, but it should be still recognizable. It's a very striking map. It's beautiful tropical with the ocean waves coming in, and like you said, the bright buildings. And I also liked that it gave me a chance to use that light aqua color, which is one that I haven't really built much with otherwise. So yeah, as you said, the sort of the brightness and tropical feel of it, and the palm trees interspersed throughout, is kind of what drew me to wanting to build it.
And then as you're kind of transitioning from the game to a Lego build here, how does that work in kind of interpreting the level in Lego bricks?
So one of the nice things, and if there's anyone else interested in building Overwatch out there, I'll direct you to this, but basically the game has a replay function, which is amazing. You can play a game through and then go back out to the menu and go into this replay function, and it allows you to basically move around the map from any angle, view things from any direction that you want to. And so I was able to go in and take a ton of reference photos of the map from, the buildings from any angle I wanted to. It lets you go through and into structures so you can see what's inside. So it makes it so much easier to build something that's faithful to what's in the game. Just being able to have that freedom of going into the map and seeing anything you want from any angle.
That's perfect. And John has already started showing your next build here, so we'll keep going down the line. What level is this?
So this is from the Hanamura level, which, as you can see, is a Japanese-themed level. Hanamura is the estate of the Shimada brothers. And this is sort of one part of the level. The levels are all kind of too big for me to tackle, at least at this point, maybe in the future. But this is focused on the first objective point, which is kind of this temple building. And you can see it's got the cherry blossom trees kind of scattered around. So again, that's one of the things that drew me to it, is the colorfulness of the trees, and then the big red and white temple building. That's sort of the feature centerpiece. This gate here is sort of one of the choke points that the battle is, the action is often focused on in the game. And so again, my sons have got the minifigs in there in their poses with Roadhog hooking McCree, and so they had some fun with that.
They handle the staging of the build.
Exactly. Yep. So. And then this third piece is the Eichenwald Castle. This is what really got me started building the Overwatch theme. I grew up in the Black Falcon Fortress era of classic castle.
A great era of castle.
Oh yeah. So my builds, or my sets that I had when I was growing up were the classic castle sets, and I was playing this game and this level loaded, and I saw the castle, and I was like, holy moly, I have to build that out of Lego. That's amazing. So this is actually my third try. The first one I built using the old style castle panel plates, and I got the shape right, but I was like, man, this looks so plain. The walls, just plain walls with the little windows. And I came to this event in Lincoln in 2019 and saw some of the really amazing stuff that people had built in the castle theme with the textured walls and, much more intricate detail on the walls. And I was like, I got to tear it down and build it that way. So in any case, this is sort of the second objective, where one team is trying to escort this is called the payload in the game, and in this particular map it's a rocket powered battering ram, so you have to get that up to the map and have it smash the doors so that your team can go through. And the battering ram has a play function. You can hit the end of the little rocket there and it'll move the ram forward. So this was the first one I did, and it's kind of what inspired me to build in the Overwatch game. And then I did Hanamura and then Ilios after that. So
that's fantastic. And one thing I love about this build is you've got kind of the square walls, but then all these rounded towers coming off of it there. So how did you achieve that, kind of keeping those towers strong enough so they aren't all falling off the build?
It is kind of a very irregular shaped castle. I had to figure out how to build the rounded towers, and again, that took several tries, but I did sort of use some ideas that I'd seen online, like here, interspersing the bricks with the rounded elements, to achieve that shape. And then a lot of them are just, they're attached with Technic pins on the sides to sort of hold them in place. Some of them come off more easily than you might imagine, but as long as no one touches it, it'll stay. But several people have already said, the top towers are kind of askew. I keep wanting to fix it, but that's the way it is in the game, and
that's a compliment. That means you achieved it well.
Yeah. So not everything is straight lines and lined up and symmetric in the game. So I tried to build it faithfully to what was in the game as much as possible. And you can see there's also a lot of battle damage to some of the areas. Some of the crenellations are missing, and there's pieces of the chunks of the wall that are missing, and that's the way it is in the game. There's been a battle here, and you can see evidence of that. So there's rubble and holes in various things. So
you mentioned that this castle was your first of the 3 builds here. So did you find your parts techniques or anything like that changing as you went along, or what did you learn from kind of the first build that you were able to incorporate in other ones?
They as you can see, they are kind of very different styles, but I think the one thing I did across all 3 of them and I don't know how other people do this, but what I do is I start at the ground and build up. So I lay what I want the foundation to be, sort of that shape, and then at that point it's just building upwards, and you just stack bricks on top of each other. So in that sense, yeah, I did use that technique throughout all 3. But other than that, the architecture styles are quite different amongst the 3 builds, so I had to be a little bit flexible, I guess.
Yeah, and I think you achieved it nicely. Then we've still got one other Overwatch character here as well. What is this?
Yep, so this is Bob. Bob is not a playable character in the game, but he is the ultimate, is what they call it, ultimate ability for one of the characters by the name of Ash. And so she's going to be my next project. I got to build her to be with Bob, but basically, Bob stands for Big Omnic Butler. Omnic is the term in the game for the robots, essentially. And so when she builds up enough credit in the game, she can call in Bob, and he comes in and wreaks havoc. And so I loved Bob, and Ash is one of my favorite characters to play in the game, and I decided I want to try to build him out of Lego, and I'm really happy with the way he turned out. I can turn him around a little bit because he's got a design on the back of his jacket. So you can see it's a skull with wings. And then he's got this sort of like gold chains that kind of drape around the sides of his jacket. And the jacket that he's wearing also has like a fur collar and then fur trim around the bottom. So
great. Fantastic work. You've even got kind of the lenticular mosaic going on here. So a lot of different styles of building for your Overwatch layout.
Yeah. And the little smaller mosaics for the character logos, I have to give credit to my son. He actually built one of those. He built the Moira one, the orange and black one over there. And then the lenticular is the Overwatch symbol from one side. And then if you go around to the other side, it's the Blackwatch symbol, which is kind of like the the Black Ops section of Overwatch that kind of goes rogue and kind of becomes the bad guys. And then I've got the set that they came out with, the Bastion set, but they actually, for the character in the game, they released a brick skin, which is the character built out of Lego in the game as a playable character, but it was all different colors than what the set was, and so I was like, well, I got to build the brick version of Bastion. And then this last one is it's from another Blizzard game. It's Hearthstone, but they actually have the Hearthstone board in the Overwatch game. So like you'll be in one of the the loading areas waiting for the game to start, and there'll be a table with a Hearthstone board on it. And so I thought that was pretty funny, and so I built the version of Hearthstone that's in Overwatch out of Lego.
Gotcha. Well, this is all fantastic work. Thank you for bringing all this out to the show and setting it up here, and thanks for taking us through everything.
Oh, absolutely. And if there are any other Lego Overwatch fans out there, we do have a Facebook group that you can search on Facebook and join up. It's just a place to post your own builds, things you're working on, news for possible future Lego Overwatch waves, which I'm not going to hold my breath, but I do have my fingers crossed. Maybe when they release Overwatch 2, there will be a resurgence of popularity, and Lego will jump on that and release another wave of sets, but we'll see.
There you go, hopefully. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me on.